know about us. I got what you need.
Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be sharing with you all kind of my everyday makeup routine for fall. Now when I say everyday, I don't mean literally every single day, but if there is a time that I'm going to be putting on makeup and I don't want to do anything too extravagant or too intricate, this is kind of the routine that I would go with. Now I do have about 2 different products that I do want to incorporate in today's routine, not because it's been a part of my routine obviously, but mostly because I do want to test and try these products out, and hopefully they will be good enough for me to use in this routine, so we will see today. But aside from all that, there is an announcement that I kind of want to make. And first and foremost, I want to say that I see a lot of new faces here on my channel, and I'm so happy to have you guys and so grateful for every single one of you, which makes the news that I have to share kind of bittersweet. So as many of you know, I have been struggling with my skin. I was in a good place about a month ago, but recently some things have been happening and I don't really know what it is, you know. I try to take what I have shared with you all and said to you all, like the advice that I give, and I kind of have to take a step back and take that advice for myself. So I'm doing my best to love myself through it, but I do want to take next week off, so there will be no uploads for me this coming week, today or maybe tomorrow, because I am filming this on a Friday. I've been procrastinating, you guys. But either today or tomorrow, whenever this specific video uploads, this will be the last one for a week, and then I'm just gonna basically let my skin just, you know, heal a little bit. A week isn't a long time in skincare, but it'll be something better than nothing, if that makes sense. Like, I'm constantly putting on makeup, whether that's for a video or to go out somewhere. So I'm just gonna take it easy. I am going to be working behind the scenes, so no worries. When I do come back, I will be coming back with the content. So you guys can always leave down below any content ideas that you guys have. And, you know, during my week off from actually filming, not planning or anything like that, I will be looking into those and kind of prepping my content, if that makes sense. I hope you guys aren't too mad at me for it. You know, it sucks, honestly, because I love doing this and I would love to do this for, you know, every single day of my life, honestly. I really love playing with makeup, creating content for you guys, but right now I just have to take a step back and really take care of my skin and figure out what it is that's actually happening. I have been doing some things, you know, behind the scenes, obviously, but I just need a little bit of a break because all of this is honestly taking a toll on me and I don't want it to. So when I come back, I'll be better than ever, and hopefully there will be some improvements with my skin. All right, so I know that was a lengthy intro. I don't normally talk that much, but with all of that, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Make sure you click that bell so you can be notified every single time I upload, especially when I return. And with all of that, let's cut the chitter chatter and jump into today's video. Today we are going to start with the eyes. Now there are 3 different things that I do when I do this type of makeup look. I can either wing out liner, so using a wing liner, just do a wing on my eyes. I will use eyeshadow to do that, or I will just put some bronzer in the crease. Now today I think I want to try and wing out some eyeshadow, so I have here my NARS palette. This is the Suede Voyager eyeshadow palette, and it has this dark color right here that's almost like a black brown. So I'm going to use that to wing out some liner. I'm not the best at this, so I may just, you know, rough it up on the edges or whatever. It may not be a perfect wing. If I wanted like a perfect wing, I would probably just go ahead and use actual wing liner, but we're gonna go ahead and use some shadow. So I'm just going to try to create somewhat of a wing on my eye, trying not to make it too big when I do this. So the great thing about using eyeshadow to do winged liner is that it's easier to clean up if like you make a mess or it's not the way that you want it, or if they don't seem to be even. Like it's so much easier to manipulate and use versus an actual winged liner, especially if you've already done your base makeup. Now what I'm gonna do from here is obviously fill in the sparse areas with the same like angled brush. By the way, I am using kind of like an eyeshadow brush for this, but you can use whatever angled brush you feel most comfortable with. And I'm just going to fill all of this in. So I'm actually creating an actual liner for my eyes with eyeshadow. Now I'm gonna take a little fluffy brush. This one's from Morphe, but it doesn't have a name. I'm gonna go into this shade right here just because it's pretty light, but still has like that brown like undertone to it. So I'm just gonna use this just to kind of blend this out over here on the lid area. Just a little bit. I don't wanna mess it up completely. I just want to kind of blend out the shadow a little bit. So I'm just gonna work on that. And then I'll go into the same brown shade and go on top of the liner with that as well. Just basically creating a smoky outer corner and a smoky liner. So it's not so perfect. If I wanted it to be like perfect, then I should have just went in with a liner and called it a day. But also a trick, if you don't know how to do winged liner too well, what you could do is do the outline with the eyeshadow and then go on top of it with an actual winged liner pencil or liquid liner and then fill it in. It'll be so much easier because again, the eyeshadow is easier to work with because it can be easily manipulated and changed and cleaned up versus using a liquid liner. So when you're finished, it should look a little something like this. Now, that's pretty much it for the eyes, honestly. Like super, super easy, super quick, super fast. Again, this is like my go-to look, so I want it to be very time efficient and not take up too much time to do. So as you guys saw, that didn't really take up any time at all. Now I'm gonna go ahead and coat my lashes, but before I coat them, I will be curling them. Now I'm gonna go ahead and coat mine with a coat of the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara. I just have been loving this one just to use, even if I'm not, you know, just wearing my natural lashes. Even if I'm putting on falsies, I really do enjoy this mascara a lot. It really gives your lashes a nice length. Now volume, not so much, but the length is definitely there. So you could definitely mix this mascara in with the secondary one that you know is gonna give you volume. And I'm pretty sure it will work like a charm. So just gonna go ahead and coat my lashes. My lash of choice today is gonna be these ones from ABH. These are their false lashes in the style So Hollywood. And I'm just gonna pop these ones on. These are kind of like, you know, more so very flirty and fun, but also very everyday lashes. Now that the lashes have been applied, I'm gonna go ahead and start priming my skin. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use this right here. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is so hydrating, but it also just helps your makeup apply so smoothly. A little bit of this does go a long way, so I don't need too much of it. And I'm just gonna lather this over my face. Now, the last time you guys see me use this product, I did use it as an actual moisturizer. Today, I did not do that. I already moisturized my face and put SPF on. So this is strictly just a primer for my foundation. But if you wanted to, you could actually use it as an actual moisturizer, go on top of it with an SPF, and then put your foundation on. But this is just so smoothing, so hydrating. Like, just look at my skin. Looks very hydrated, which it very much needs right now. So I'm gonna make sure I'm taking the necessary steps in hydrating my skin. Now, as I have stated before, I really am trying to minimize on the products when it comes to my skin and my face because I want it to breathe through the makeup. But I did want to go ahead and try out the Laura Mercier primer. This is the Pure Canvas Primer. It's blurring, silicone free. So I want to go ahead and give it a little test shot. Now, I love the fact that it's silicone free because silicone primers can be a cause of acne. So I am trying to do my best to steer away from them. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and I'm gonna put it pretty much in my T-zone, because this is where I get oily. Especially right here on my nose and cheeks. This is the most oiliest part of my face. And I'm also gonna drag some up here on my forehead where I have plenty of texture. So as I'm using this, I'm feeling it out, and it kind of feels like skincare a little bit, but then it kind of turns into, I don't know, like you can feel that it's going from like a nice soft cream to a nice soft matte, and it kind of is mattifying my skin, as you guys can see. So here versus here where I don't have the primer, you guys can kind of see like this has been mattified a little bit, and this out here is still kind of shiny or whatever from the other products that we use. So that's pretty nice. I can't say that I don't like this. I actually do like it. I even like it with the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base, like the two together so far. I really do like it. So that might be a win for me, but let's move on. So for foundation, you guys should have known that I was gonna grab this one. This again is so perfect for fall. Like, I love me a soft matte finish, and this definitely gives that to you. It also gives you the coverage, which you guys know I'm all about coverage when it comes to putting on foundation for me right now. Anything that isn't very buildable isn't really going to sit well with me, not because the product isn't good, but just because of my own personal concerns with my skin. So I'm just gonna put a fair amount of this on my skin. This is about all I need. You don't even need a lot of product with this foundation. And I'm gonna use my beauty blender just to press this all into the skin. All right, now that we have that on, it looks really good. Like I said, the coverage is definitely there. And for me personally, I would prefer a matte foundation versus a glowy or dewy one, just because of all the texture on my skin. Matte foundations tend to not necessarily cover it up, but it doesn't give so much attention to it, versus like something more shiny or radiant. That's definitely going to like really point out the fact that you have a lot of texture. Now you could go in with one that isn't matte and just, you know, powder on top, but I do love this foundation, and since I have it, I'm obviously going to use it. Now for concealer today, instead of going in with the NARS concealer, I am gonna use the Hourglass. Now this one is light, okay? This is in fawn. I did get it a little too light, so it's definitely going to be very brightening, but I'm going to try to be minimal when I use this concealer, just because I don't want it to look crazy. So just keep that in mind, that I know that this is pretty light for my skin tone. So that should be more than enough to cover what we need. So I'm just going to go in and start blending this out. Believe it or not, I do skip cream contour on my everyday makeup routine, whether it's for fall or any other season, just because that's just an extra step, something to make me feel extra glam. And when I just don't really want that extra glam look, then I just opt out of using it. So today we're just going to jump right into setting the under eyes in our T-zone and pretty much our entire face. So I'm going to start with the powder. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey Powder. This is the newest powder that she has launched, and oh my gosh, I could not wait to get my hands on this. So I went into Sephora. At first I was a little scared because I thought they didn't have it, but me and the girl who worked there both didn't realize, hello, it says new right here in the corner, new shade. So we didn't realize the packaging, but nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and use this today. I'm really excited. I love the regular translucent powder. I use that very often as well, but this one is a little bit more yellow. So we're gonna go ahead and dip our sponge into this directly. We're not even gonna think twice about it, and we're gonna go ahead and set. Now I'm not really gonna bake, I'm just gonna press this powder on. Very yellow, very brightening, but I think this will be perfect to set. Especially since we used such a brightening concealer, this will probably help tone it down just a little bit, or at least equalize it out, if that made sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So from what I can tell, I really feel like this powder, it looks phenomenal on the skin, and I honestly feel like it blurred things up a little bit, and I love that. So this powder is definitely a keep. Okay, now we're gonna move into kind of setting the rest of the face. So for that, I'm just gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush flawless finish powder, if I can get it open. So this is in 2, which is medium. So I'm just gonna use this with like a big fluffy brush. I'm just gonna use this one. This is the JH01, and I'm just gonna use this just to help set the rest of the face. Because if you guys didn't know, this powder definitely gives you like that airbrushed flawless finish, kind of like the translucent powder did. So now our whole face can look like that and not just the T-zone. So a little bit does go a long way with that powder. Now we're gonna go ahead and bronze our skin. That way we can add a little bit of color back into, you know, our face. We still, I mean, we kind of have a little bit like slight dimension with the concealer and the foundation, just because they were totally 2 different shades. But we're gonna add a little bit more with this bronzer. This one is just the Laguna matte bronzer from NARS. I, again, love my matte products, especially during the fall time. And I'm just gonna apply a generous amount of this all over. Don't wanna get too crazy or heavy-handed with this product because I don't want a bronzer helmet, but I do want a nice flush of color. So before we jump into our blush, highlight, and lip, I'm gonna go ahead and take this isn't it, but this one, the Voyager eyeshadow palette from NARS. And I'm gonna take the 2 shades that we use at the top to kind of create like that wing effect. And I'm gonna take very little of the darker shade first and foremost. And I'm gonna run that on my lower lash line. I just always like to have something underneath there, whether it's bronzer or shadow. I just like the definition that it gives underneath the eye. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this, and I am using that same Morphe brush that I was using earlier just to kind of help blend out the other shade in the palette on the lid. And I'm just very lightly just running this down here. I'm also gonna line my waterline with the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner in the shade Nude. Now, since we have used so many like powder products, I think it's time to kind of hydrate the face a little bit and set everything down as is. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. You guys know I love this. It speaks for itself. So this is definitely a must in my makeup routine. That really does just help melt everything into the skin, and I just love it. So now I'm going to, I already filled in my brows with this. I used the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the number 4 to fill in my brows, just in case you guys were wondering. I've been doing that lately, just filling in my brows before I even begin the video. Brows are pretty important because it really structures your face, but it's actually pretty boring, in my opinion, to just sit on here and do my brows every day. But if you guys want me to incorporate it more, just let me know down below. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of their Gimme Brow, and I'm just going to fluff up my brows a little bit and, you know, just bring them back to life from all the powder that we have used. And just kind of evenly disperse this into the brows. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and move into blush. Now, I know I said in the beginning of the video that I only had 2 new products, but I kind of lied. I actually have 3. I didn't realize that. But we are going to be using Selena Gomez's line, which is Rare Beauty. This is her liquid blush in Love. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to pick up her foundation, which I also went in to get when I got this, but they didn't have my shade in stock, so unfortunately I wasn't able to get that. But we will be putting this to the test today. Now, I have seen plenty of reviews on her entire line, which made me want to get the blush in the first place. Now, I believe this is a matte blush, and I'm just going to take a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use my sponge and dip that in there, and then just tap it on the cheeks. Ooh. I'm gonna keep it up here as well, where I always put my blush lately, or where I have been putting my blush lately. So just the same technique. Definitely blendable. Pigment is there. This is actually a really pretty color. This isn't the one I was gonna go for. I was gonna go for the more like peachy toned blush, but they didn't have any more of that shade either. So I was like, okay, I'll give this one a try, and actually, I really do like it. This is a really, really pretty color. So you guys know I've never been the type to apply my blush on top of powder, but for this, it seems to be working pretty well. And especially I think because I'm using my sponge and not like a brush or something, it's definitely applying a lot better and not disturbing any of the product underneath. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this to the usual areas, which again is like right here. That might be a little too much. I do have to blend this out. But nothing, you know, different from any other blush application. This one looks really good. This one I just need to blend a little bit more. Also gonna take a little bit on my nose as well. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, I definitely have to go and get more shades, even the ones that aren't matte. I'm obsessed with this. A little bit does go a very long way, so please keep that in mind. If you are purchasing this to use it, a little bit will go very long way. So this bottle will last quite some time, but I'm obsessed. I love this blush. I think maybe it worked out that I didn't get the orange one, but I love this one. It makes me want to run and go get all the other shades. So that's it for the blush. Now we're gonna move into highlight. So this one is in Ibiza, just a nice golden highlight. And I'm gonna apply this everywhere that I apply my highlight. You know, you guys know I like applying it out here and all of that. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm actually gonna use a M510 brush to apply this, which is like Morphe's really big blending brush. So to me, it's perfect for highlight. As you guys can see, I've applied a little bit more highlight than I have been usually, and that's just because I don't know, I'm just feeling a little extra highlight today. So on a daily basis or whenever I'm putting on makeup, it definitely does vary. Now I'm also gonna go ahead and set my face with the Fenty Beauty What It Do setting mist, because you guys know this gives you like the most perfect glow without being too glowy. Not very oily, not oily at all, honestly. And the mist on this is just so fine. Literally, it's like air, and it smells really good too. Finally, let's finish out with the lip. Now I am gonna use my favorite, which is the Milani Understatement Lip Liner in the shade Saucy Toffee, just to line my lips. And right on top of that, I'm gonna take Dose of Colors Sand, and I like to switch up like my nude lipsticks. So sometimes it'll be this one, sometimes it'll be the L'Oreal, sometimes it'll be an actual lipstick. It just really depends what I'm feeling. But today I think I'm feeling a little bit of Dose of Colors, so we're gonna pop this on. Alright beauties, so this here is the finished and final look. I am finally done. I really love the way that it came out. Honestly, it comes out different for me every single time. There's not one time I can do my makeup, regardless of how, you know, simple the routine is or how straightforward it is. my makeup always just comes out differently, but I really do love today's look. Now, one thing I did do is go on top of the liquid lipstick with a little bit more lip liner because I wanted it to be a little darker than what it was. And I love the overall look. Again, you guys can let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Now, although next week there will be no uploads for me, I will for sure be back the week after, so definitely look forward to whatever video I decide to drop next. This video today has helped me in a way that I don't even think you guys understand. It felt really good just to be able to genuinely sit down, do makeup with you guys, and just feel at peace. I'm dealing with a lot right now, especially when it comes to my skin, and I try my best to just take the advice that I give you guys. And I've been doing it, don't get me wrong, but there are times when I'm just feeling really, really down, and yesterday was definitely one of those days for me, but today is looking up. And I only have you guys to thank for that because you guys come back every single time and watch my videos, and it just makes me want to continue pushing out content. So again, if you like today's video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, I will not see you guys next week, but I will see you guys the week after. I love you guys, hope you're staying safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.